What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Come on in, come on in, come on in. Oh boy, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Now I don't have to get up and go to work in the morning. That's why y'all getting this late review. And we're gonna go ahead and pull double duty. I couldn't figure out how to do both of them tonight without me being here till midnight. So I said, well, I'll just do both of them at the same time. So we're gonna do Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then we're gonna slide on in to SWV and Escape Queens of R&B. So let me say this overall, y'all can put in the chat how y'all felt about part 3 of the reunion. On a scale of 1 to 10, how did y'all feel about part 3 of the reunion? This is what I'm going to say. I really wish that they would stop giving us the best parts in these sneak peeks and everything, because what's happening now is we already have the trailer, which of course is going to give us the juicy stuff. Now they're giving us these sneak peeks, and then all of the YouTubers, I don't really particularly like watching the sneak peeks. All the YouTubers and stuff, now they're doing videos on the sneak peeks talking about what we think we're going to see. And I'm not mad at the YouTubers because, listen, get your money. I ain't mad about that. But as a viewer, honestly, with both of these episodes, with the SWV episode of SWV Escape and with part 3 of the reunion, I just feel like we had seen everything. So it was... For me, both of these episodes were anticlimactic. Now, we're still going to get into it because there's things to discuss. But it was no surprises, really. And the stuff that they didn't show us was really cringy. And we'll get into that. I see somebody said disgusting. Harold, I don't know if I would use the word disgusting, but definitely there was some cringe-worthy parts of this reunion. So I see horrible. I see a 3. I see a 5 out of 10. Okay. All right. So you had a long weekend. Okay, boo. I understand. Thanks for coming through anyway. Thank you. It's your birthday. Oh, everybody, wish Montrez a happy birthday. Hey, boo, happy birthday to you. Drop some happy birthdays and some cakes and some stuff in the chat for my boo. All right. Haven't seen any of them yet because I'm on the West Coast. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I'm not spoiling it for you, girl. You being generous with the 5? Child. Well, let's go ahead and get into it if we're going to get into it, child. She said what needed to be said. Who said it? Me or somebody on the show? I think the Chris part, but I think it was more, for me, it was more than just the Chris part. I'll get into it. I'm going to tell you what it was, for me, what it was. So let me start. First of all, this first segment, Candace, okay. This first segment with Mia and Jackie was cringeworthy for me. And this was the first, and I'm going to tell you what was cringeworthy. It was so uncomfortable seeing these two former friends telling all of their personal business. Let me tell you something. I'm not that person. I've told y'all this before. If me and you fall out and I know all your secrets, they just gonna die with me. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not talking to people that I don't feel some kind of way. That don't mean I'm not gonna get on the phone and talk about your ass. Now, I ain't gonna tell that lie. But for me to get out in a public forum and blast your secrets, that it made me uncomfortable for both of them. Now, let me tell you the other thing that I didn't appreciate. And y'all can keep me honest in the chat. Tell me if I'm being biased or I'm being a hypocrite. Y'all can tell me in the chat. My feelings, I won't be offended by it. The lies. Just the one thing I realized in tonight's episode is everybody on here just lying. And I know that lies exist in reality TV and people exaggerate. And I get that. I get all of that. But is it me or did it just seem like an extensive amount of lies? We started off with Mia, which, I mean, we already know Mia's a liar. I mean, we know Mia's a liar. But to find out that this whole thing with Mia and Jacqueline was a lie. They alluded to her and G having a situation that's not true. They led us to believe that the two of them had something going on. which they never said they did, but they let us believe that they did. They put it out there for us to feel that way, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong in that they put it out there for us to feel that way? Then we then we had the Porsche. Now I told y'all a long time ago that Tita said that was a lie. Jacqueline's sister Tita told us that a long time ago that was a lie. Tita said that ain't nobody buy that Porsche for her sister. She said that her and Tita, she ain't come right out and say this, but Tita alluded to the fact that the daddy helped her buy that Porsche or bought the Porsche for her or something to that effect. But she said that wasn't true. Oh, I have to say it like Candy. The lies. I got to say it like Candy because that's what it is, y'all. It's the lies. It's the lies. So I just didn't like it because I felt like, okay, well, Jacqueline, your whole purpose for being on the show was on some fugazi. And if you go back to my reviews, I said that. I said it. I think I said it on the panel, and I know I said it in my reviews that I feel like Jacqueline and Mia had a storyline that they had already concocted. They had already figured out what they were going to say and how they were, what information they was going to put out there. And it got good to them, and they got caught up in the lies. I said that. I said Mia got caught up in the lies. I said that all along, that this was that Jacqueline was going along with these stories, and that was part of her coming on the show, and that's what was supposed to go down. And then it went boom. Hey, sweet pea, what's up, boo? What's up? Hey, Pam, what's up, girl? You here for the Queens of Diva? Well, we're gonna get there in a few minutes because this Potomac thing ain't gonna take me too long. But hang in there with me, Pam. I know it's late. I know you had a busy day, girl. Hang in there with me. So let me see my notes. A lot about the other thing about the Mother's Day thing, and that's the thing. Like Mia will tell a lie and then get caught in her lie, and then her response is, "Oh well." You literally said when y'all were arguing in Mexico, I spent Mother's Day with your mother, and when Jacqueline presented the receipts that said you were on the phone with my mother, but you were not in my mother's presence. Oh, well, I mean, okay. Girl, that's not the same. Being with somebody and being on the phone with somebody is not the same. We all call the mothers in our life on Mother's Day. Listen, before my grandparents died and my godmama died, I made 20 phone calls on Mother's Day. And I might have sat on the phone with an hour with this person, 30 minutes with that person, 30 minutes with that person, because that's what you do. That's what you do. And then they brought up the whole cheaters thing, and Mia claimed that she has receipts proving that Jackie admitted that she was having an affair with a married man, but she chose not to show him. Girl, with all the lies you done told, nobody believes you. If you ain't showing me a receipt, I don't believe nothing you say. Mia, you can tell me your name is Mia, and I need to see your birth certificate, okay? I don't believe you. So for you to say, I have the receipts, but I'm choosing not to show them, girl, then as far as I'm concerned, you ain't got no damn receipts. Because then what the hell was the purpose of bringing them? What was the purpose of bringing this whole bedazzled box full of paper if you ain't going to show none of it? Hey, Mr. Willie Brown, what's up? Mia's embarrassing and makes it the whole franchise look... Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Every woman on this show tonight, maybe for the exception of Wendy and Candace, every woman on this show tonight, to me, made this franchise look buffoonish. And that includes Karen. And y'all know I love Karen. But I'm going to get to her in a few minutes. Y'all know I love Karen. But you too, mama. You too. Let me see. Anything? They brought up G and whether he can perform or not perform. And again, Mia, you be putting 20 on 10. When Jacqueline said you need some more dick in your life, you automatically went to she's talking about G, because she's the only person on this stage that knew that G had prostate cancer. And literally 3 other people on the stage was like, I knew. So first of all, she wasn't the only woman on the stage that knew. So stop there. And then for you to be like, she only said that because he had prostate cancer, and so she knows that he has issues. She never came right out and said he was impotent, but you said enough. You said enough. First of all, I don't know if that's what the woman meant or not. I don't know if you was putting 20 or 10. But why would you bring it up? Out of all the other things that y'all argued about, that's what you bring up? Because let me tell you something. There is no way, and I mean no way again, that I would ever discuss my husband's whether he's impotent or not. I would never engage in that. I don't care if that's what she meant or not. Me and her would have to have that conversation on the back end. I would have never brought that up. Even if that's what she meant, even if she absolutely was talking about your husband's sexual performance, I would have never brought that up. Because now you're embarrassing your husband. You're not embarrassing Jackie. You're embarrassing your husband. Exactly, Bat. Most people thought that they just needed to have sex more. Nobody went there until you brought it up. Now everybody's thinking about it. Exactly. That was not for the general public to know. Nobody needs to know that. I would never confirm that information. Jacqueline could have came right out and said it, and I wouldn't have confirmed it. I absolutely would not have. There's no way in the world I would allow that information about my husband to be floating out there. No way in the world. Anyway, that's me and Jackie. So they finally asked, well, listen, can we stop all this? Because I feel like the women started feeling a little cringeworthy at that point. And they finally were like, well, can y'all find a common ground? Can y'all find a way to come together on this one? They said never know. That's never going to happen. Now, Mia did apologize to Jacqueline earlier this week. She sent out a tweet apologizing to her. But child, listen, Jacqueline, if you go back and be friends with this woman, you a fool. And I understand y'all been friends for 20 years. But listen, they say it's a season, a reason, or a lifetime. Maybe y'all season is over, okay? Because that damn show ain't no lifetime friendship, okay? Too much sex talk on the show anyway. Just stop. Mia threw G under the bus to make an excuse. Exactly. I bet Gordon regrets leaving his first wife for Mia. Nah, he ain't seemed like he was on the stage crying today about her possibly having cancer, child. Don't sound like that. I believe G really truly loves Mia. But they just have an unconventional marriage, and Mia is just a piece of work. Then Shasha comes out, child. Miss Sharice Shasha comes out. Robin made it a point to let everybody know that everybody loves Sharice except for Wendy and Karen. I don't even know why Robin always feel like she got to be caping for people. Sharice and Karen, listen, y'all know I love me some Karen. Y'all know I love me some Karen. But Karen, girl, you was lying. Now, I said you was lying when you said it. Even though you my girl, I could call a thing a thing. I said Karen was lying when she said it. I said from the beginning that this goes deeper than her coming to your mama funeral and you going through your grief over your mama passing away. And Sharice gave us the timeline and said, ma'am, after your mother died, you invited me to a LaDame event at Bloomingdale's, and you invited me to your intimate birthday party, your 54th, 55th birthday party, which was an intimate dinner party. It wasn't a invite everybody you ever knew celebration. Now, I would have gave you a pass on the Bloomingdale's event because I would have been like, well, this is a business situation. This is about having people in the room. I would have had my personal assistant, empty out my Rolodex. That's old school for y'all that don't know Rolodex. That's old school. But as far as inviting her to your intimate 55th birthday party, and if you really don't F with Sharice the way you say you don't F with Sharice, I don't give a damn who called and asked. And I don't give a damn if she was standing outside the restaurant at valet. I would have been like, no, she can't come. So, Kern, I love you, girl. But I really think it's deeper than that. And for whatever reason, you do not want to tell it, which you have every right not to tell it. But don't give us the bullshit. And I really think it does boil down to Sharice out there spreading rumors and telling stories. Not throw the whole Roberto Jamal Hazel Dixon. That was 5 years ago, like Karen said, y'all. She's 59. Right. She's 59. So that was 4 years ago at her 55th birthday party. And what Sharice said was, what I'm saying is, her event at Bloomingdale's wasn't 5 years ago. She just started La Dame 3 seasons ago. The event at Bloomingdale's was 3 seasons ago because the perfume came out 3 seasons ago. I remember Karen saying Sharice gave her the idea as double nickels for the 55th birthday party. That was okay. I just want Karen to boss up and say I don't F with Sharice and what. Well, she said that on her Instagram, on her YouTube, on her Instagram. She said I don't F with her because I don't F with her, and I would respect that. I would respect that more. And again, you don't have to like people, and you don't have to tell people why you don't like them. But I would much rather you say, "Listen, I don't F with her. That's between me and her, and that's all I'm gonna say about it." But you want to give up all these other issues. Now, on the flip side, Sharice, now, again, y'all tell me in the chat if I took it the wrong way, if I heard it wrong. Last episode, Karen said she announced a candle line 4 years ago. 4 or 5 years is 4 or 5 years for Sharice to still care. Huh? I don't understand what you're saying, Nikki. But last episode, Karen said she announced candle line 4 years ago. Right, 4 years ago. So 5 years ago, that was more than 5 years ago was her mother's funeral. All of these other events happened after that. That's what Sharice was saying. Sharice was saying that the 2 events that Karen invited her to happened after her mother's funeral. That's what Sharice is saying. So either way, it ain't add up to me. The timeline wasn't timelining. But on the flip side of that, and again, tell me if I heard this wrong. I feel like Sharice admitted to the fact that what she said about Karen wasn't true. Because she said, well, I only said those things because of ... Because you out here saying, spreading rumors about me. Now, I'm not trying to be petty or play word games, so y'all tell me if I was just being petty. But I didn't hear her say that. I heard when she said, well, I only said those things. So are you saying you only repeated the lie? I mean, the rumors, or were you repeating stuff that you know wasn't true? Or did you just make the shit up altogether? Now, tell me if I'm tripping. Tell me if I'm tripping, because what I heard was, well, I only said it because I was mad at her, not that it was true. So you out here admitting that you lied about. Now, I told y'all then I didn't believe that Karen did it. I never believed. Now, I ain't gonna sit here and say that I believe Karen has always been faithful to Ray, but I don't think that Karen was in no damn broom closet with the bus boy. No disrespect to bus boys, but girl, bye. Then Mia gonna turn around, and when Andy brought up the thing that Mia said, Mia talking about some, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah, girl, we're gonna talk about that. And I believe that was a lie too, because Karen was like, she told someone, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. These are people that are friends of the family. And Karen was like, well, I tell you what, you go on and get them names to Andy so I can sue their asses. So I think that's really some stuff that ain't true. Because if Karen talking about suing somebody now, again, we ain't talking about whether she would be successful and all of that. But the fact that she's willing to go to that length tells me that whatever that was ain't true. Karen with busboys and poets in Anacostia. Huh? Mia does. And again, and I do agree with Wendy that we all care about rumors about us and we don't have no problem spreading rumors about other people. I think that was a valid point. But it's one thing to spread a rumor that you heard in the streets. It's something totally different to just be out here freaking lying. And Mia just be freaking lying. Mia is not spreading or repeating, oh, it's a joke. Girl, no, because you know Phil, the owner of Busboys and Poets, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe Phil knows something I don't know, honey. But if it's one thing to say, well, I heard on the streets. It's something else to be the person making up the lies. And I think that's the difference. Sharice, I feel like you admitted that you made up those lies. Mia, we caught you in the lies, so we know you made up the lies. And Giselle, we're going to get to Giselle in a minute too. You totally created this situation and blew it up. And I think that because Karen did it too. I think that we're in a different world now where you can't say things, certain things have a different level of repercussions than they used to have. You can't just be throwing out sexual inappropriate things and it's just a key. No, there are serious repercussions for people that are out here talking, touching, groping, making women feel uncomfortable. There are serious consequences for that behavior. And you can't just throw that stuff out there anymore. It is serious. And again, Karen did it to Juan. At the end of this episode, they talk about that. And Karen, you did it to Juan. And again, y'all know I love Karen, but I'm going to call a thing a thing. You did the same thing to Juan that Giselle did. That Giselle did to Chris. You really did. You really did. Sharice and Karen's story don't add up. Dinner party, a LaDom event. Sharice with the story, a lie. I'm just reading through my notes to make sure I said, child. Mia lied about the restaurant owner. Okay. Is that it, child? Oh, we also found out that Bravo asked Sharice to come back. Sharice claimed that she ain't asked to come back, but Bravo asked her to come back. I believe Bravo asked her to come back. Obviously, Bravo asked her to come back, but I don't believe that she had not let it be known that she wanted to come back. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that Sharice talked to producers. She may not have called Andy. She may not have called Bravo. But what a lot of people don't realize is different production companies produce the shows. It's not Bravo per se. It is purveyor of pop. Some of the other names are escaping me now. But Sharice could have very easily talked to the producers. We know her ass showed up every season. We know her ass was always at events. She could have very easily have been having conversations with producers, and that funneled through the Bravo, and then Bravo doubled back and called her. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I think, in my opinion. But okay. They wanted smoke for Karen. We're going to get back to that smoke for Karen thing. Then we had Robin's package, which I just don't care about anymore. They had the wedding. She said she's glad that she did it here instead of in Jamaica. Her parents were able to come, yada, yada, yada. She said she got a prenup, which basically is 50-50, and there's no infidelity clause. So then what the fuck was all that for? Again, a manufactured storyline. You absolutely had no need, interest, purpose for having a conversation about a prenup. If you made that man sign a contract saying that y'all gonna split everything 50-50. And then there's no infidelity clause. Girl, he cheated on you before y'all even got married. Because if you think that I believe that that man went down to that hotel, paid for that girl hotel room, and left back out the door, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. Yeah, I agree. I think Katie's doing too much. Katie need to go sit down. So we talked about that. Then we got to the family fun day. And once again, Robin, you know what, Robin? Either you are a bad mother or you were just being so obstinate that you wouldn't accept the fact that what you did was just some dumb shit. You didn't say that you would allow your children to get in a car with someone that they have never spent one-on-one time with, to drive somewhere to be around people that don't like their mama, and you would be comfortable with that. That tells me either A, you're lying, you just don't want to admit that you did some old bullshit, or you ain't a good mama, because ain't nowhere in the world that you supposed to send your kids to be around people that don't like you. That don't even make no sense. Robin is just trying to save face at this point. She's doing everything she can to keep from proving the viewers right. Why didn't Andy ask the woman? Why didn't Andy ask why the woman didn't call the alleged Baltimore Ravens player to pay for her hotel? It was a lot of stuff that Andy could have said that he ain't say to him. She didn't really address the event being looking like it came out of Party City. All she said was it was a last minute event. So then let me tell you what that further tells me. What that further tells me is that when y'all was sitting there at that dance studio having y'all argument, and you decided to invite all of the kids because it was spring break, that further tells me that was done out of spite, just to be mean to Wendy. Because if this was not an event that you had planned, if this was not an event that you had put some thought and some work into, and you just threw it together at the last minute, then what that says to me is that while you were sitting there arguing with Wendy, you were like, spring break, Wendy has kids. What can I do to further alienate Wendy? I'm going to have a family fun day and invite all the kids except for Wendy. That's what that says to me. Now, I could be reading too much into it. I could be going too deep into it. But that is what that said to me. Because what you're not going to sit here and tell me is that you couldn't find a party planner that could set up some balloons and set up a nice little table with real tablecloths and some sternos and some food that can stay warm with some ice stations and some drinks. Maybe even have a little DJ. I mean, y'all were at a public park, so I don't know how much you could do. But damn, you had a Bluetooth speaker that you packed in your suitcase and took all the way down to damn Miami. Y'all couldn't get no music. Now, I know that for the purposes of music, they can't really play it on the show, but I didn't even see a speaker. Where was your Bluetooth speaker, Robin? Where was the Bluetooth speaker? You had one in Miami. You couldn't bring one down to the park that was 10 minutes from your house? Play a little Beyonce? I don't like how Andy glossed over Wendy and Robin's segment. I don't feel like he glossed over it. They talked about it. It just wasn't nothing to say because Robin was lying. It really wasn't nothing to say. I feel like they had already covered the Wendy and how they just don't like Wendy when they talked about the fight. Because honestly, other than the fight in Miami and the family fun day, they didn't really, Robin and Wendy didn't really have no deep interactions the rest of the season. So they'd already covered it. I feel like they covered it. No, really, B, you are so right, Roberto. You be killing me with this, Roberto. Jamal Hazelly Dixon was being petty. Yeah, when she said that, I was like, so this just further proves that there was no purpose for this. No purpose. None at all. They asked about Juan and the Coppin State case, and basically all she said was that Juan didn't do what they said he did. They were using him as clickbait to push the story. That she does believe that the boy was catfished, but she doesn't. But Juan didn't do what Juan is being accused of doing. Basically, what Juan is being accused of doing is not following protocol when the information was brought to him. So she's saying that he did follow protocol. Well, if he followed protocol, then I did a whole video on this. And if I remember correctly, if he followed proper protocol, then it would have, I feel like it would have been handled differently. Juan does still have his job, yes. Yes. Juan has his job. Juan gonna have his job until there's until the results of an internal investigation. At this point, they almost I feel like at this point they wouldn't fire anybody while the lawsuit is going on. That was her backhandedly saying that the victim is lying. Like, girl, were you there? Child, what she should have done was decline to answer any questions. This is an ongoing investigation. It's a legal matter. I can't really speak on it, Andy. Because Andy gave her the out. Andy said, I know that, you may not be able to speak. He gave her the out. And that's all she had to say. This is an ongoing criminal investigation. I can't really get into it. If it was Wendy, I wouldn't regret missing Robin's event. Plus, she only spent 15. Exactly. And that's the reason, and Phil, that's the reason why she didn't need to say anything, because she basically said, yeah, what happened, what this boy is saying happened, but my husband did what he was supposed to do. You shouldn't have said nothing. Thank you, boo. This is Juvia's Place. This is my new lipstick. This is Juvia's Place Maroon. It is from the Berries collection. So she should have just not said anything. I think everybody would have understood her answer. It's an ongoing investigation. It is a legal case, and she really doesn't have any information. She only knows what her husband told her, and that ain't shit. Regardless of what he told her. You know what I'm saying? So she should have just not said nothing. The husbands come out. They asked Gordon about the Peter's ex-girlfriend, what that situation was. He said there was foreplay, but there was no penetration. The main part of this segment was, Chris. This is another part that was a little cringy for me to watch. I understand Chris's anger, but I understand his anger, but I think he was a lie. I understand Candace's anger, but I think it was a lie. But I understand the anger. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I understand the anger, and I don't want nobody to be like, well, really, B, they did. I get it. But baby, when she said, you gutter snipe bitch ass, I think I missed some other words in there. Child, that was a lie. But, and I don't understand why. I don't understand why it was allowed by anybody. Why it was allowed by Andy. Why it was allowed by the other men. Why now Candace wasn't gonna say nothing, but I feel like that just goes to speak to how much nobody really likes Giselle. That's the only thing I could think of, because I was really waiting for somebody to say, okay, that's enough. That's too much. That's a bit much. I was waiting. G, Ray, Eddie, none of the other men said anything. Andy didn't say anything. I don't know. Not the gutter snipe gave you Ayan to fix my life flashbacks. Really be I turned 40 on Thursday, and you, Scotty, and the rest of the panel are giving me my life to start this milestone, and I love you. Oh, happy birthday. Happy early birthday, girl. You better live it up and enjoy that 40, honey. The energy by Chris and Candace was just the right amount. Giselle is foul and soulless. Okay. Okay. Giselle has attacked all of the other men, so they weren't going to speak up. Now, that's true. That's a good point, Nikki. I guess, because I know Ray probably was like, I ain't got nothing to say. I guess that's true. When you look at it from that point of view, I guess Eddie was like, you came for me last year. And I guess Ray was like, you came for me the year before that. And I don't know whether G just don't care enough. But that is true. When you put it like that, that's true. That's true. And again, like I said, I 100% understand the anger. And like Chris said, listen, I lost money because of this. I had to explain myself to my family, to my kids. Like this was a lot because again, and this is the part that, and I'm glad that they held Giselle's feet to the fire because it wasn't just what you said about the hotel. It was the rest of it. It was, oh, he's a sneaky link. It was the whole them trying to set him up and make it seem like he had touched somebody on the butt. It was inappropriate. Like it was the whole kit and caboodle. And again, where we are in 2023 is not where we were even 5 years ago, even 10 years ago. You can't say those things and it just blow over. That stuff digs deep. And I understand that I told y'all before, and this proves my point about the double standard. Because nobody gave a damn when it was Michael Darby touching on other men. Nobody gave a damn. Production didn't give a damn. The other women didn't give a damn. It wasn't until that cameraman filed a lawsuit, and they even blew that off. Oh, he didn't touch him. Oh, he's just trying to get money. Oh, it's frivolous. Oh, it's this. But again, let it be a woman. It's a whole nother level of energy. What's up, Jonathan? I was looking for you earlier. Oh, thank you, boo. Giselle is wrong, but that Tony yelling out was out of line because people get on Dr. Eugene when he is defending himself. From Married to Medicine. Wendy upset me when she tried to get Candace to clean up her comment about the young people or women about Jizzy being white looking. Hey, CC Freak, what's up, boo? And the other lady jumping on the bandwagon trying to say that Chris was flirting. Yeah, it was the whole kit and caboodle, and I understood it. Don't get me wrong. I 100% understood it. It was the whole kit and caboodle. It was the whole kit and caboodle. Why is it okay for women to talk about the men with no regard for their feelings, family, or livelihood, but get mad when they get sick and tired? Yeah, so my biggest issue with all of this, and again, I know we're doing a TV show. I get it. But you were so uncomfortable, Giselle, that you continue to hang out at Candace's house while they weren't filming. You continue to eat Chris's food and go to the cookouts and the parties and all of that stuff when it was the off season. You were so uncomfortable that at the first event down to the spring fling event, you gave Chris a hug when you saw him. You were so uncomfortable until there was a camera. And then for you to say, well, I wasn't going to say anything until Ashley talked about him sliding in her DMs. Why did your uncomfortability hinge on Ashley? If you were uncomfortable, you were uncomfortable. If you were uncomfortable, you were uncomfortable. So now all of a sudden you were only uncomfortable until you felt like, because I still think we was all, and Ashley was on some bullshit too, but you were only uncomfortable until Ashley lied. Hmm. Hmm. Candace accusing Jizzy of proximity to whiteness rubbed me the wrong way. I can't stand Jizzy. She is a black bougie snob, but I don't think that she tries to be white. Mm. Yeah. It's definitely a way to have a storyline. Definitely a way to have a storyline. I understand that most of us, I can't say everybody, I understand that most of us ain't got nothing for Giselle. I got it. But I'm just telling y'all how it made me feel. I respect that y'all didn't hit y'all no kind of way, but for me, it was just cringy to me. It was very cringy to me. And again, I'm not saying that Giselle didn't deserve it. I'm just saying it was cringy to see it. For me, it was. Because and let me tell you the point of view I'm coming from. Not from Giselle getting her feet held to the fire. Not from Giselle being called out. But I'm just one of those people that feel like all of the cussing and stuff ain't necessary. That's my point. And I know I cuss, but I don't cuss at people. I just cuss. So for me, it was that. It wasn't that Chris gave it to her. It wasn't even that Candace gave it to her. She deserved all of that. She deserved everything that came her way. It was the cursing and the yelling that I just didn't think was necessary. And it was cringy for me to see it. That's just me, y'all. That's just me. What's the difference with Big Jamie yelling at the women last night? I spoke on that too. I don't think there is a difference. If you go back and watch my review, I spoke on that too. And I said, I think he was doing too much. And it was rude. But I also think that Jamie was putting on an act and he was creating a moment. That's what I think. I don't think it was real. I think he was creating a moment. I think he was giving us reality TV. Because I can't believe that he really just stopped in the middle of Uranus' big moment and just threw it out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you agree with me? That's my point. Yeah. When Ashley said she uses her light skin privileges, that was no issue. Candace was saying that Giselle uses it. People have. That's not what she said. See, that's not what she said, SCK. Ashley did not say she uses her light skin privilege. Ashley said that she knows she has it. It's two different things. White people have white privilege just for the fact that they're white. That doesn't mean that they go out of their way to use it. They have it. It doesn't matter. They have it. And that's what Ashley was saying. Ashley was like, I acknowledge that there is a preference for light-skinned women. And I acknowledge that my life has probably been easier because I am a light-skinned woman. She didn't say that I use it. I consciously use it. A white woman getting pulled over by the police and not getting a ticket and being let go with a warning, even if, that is white privilege. A white woman calling the police on a black person in her neighborhood because she thinks they don't belong there, and then on the phone with the police yelling, he's coming at me, he's yelling, I'm in fear of my life. That's using your white privilege, because you know that if you tell a cop or 911 operator that a black man is threatening you, you're going to get a faster response than just saying, hey, there's a black guy in my neighborhood and I don't know if he lives here. That is using your light skin privilege. Knowing that you have it and using it is two different things, in my opinion. I agree about the cussing, but when you are pissed at and that's what I'm saying. I get it. Like, I get it. I absolutely get it. It was just cringe-worthy for me to watch, but I get it. For me, it's just I understand the passion in his defense of himself. I would have probably went harder. Hey, Amir. Yeah. So again, y'all, and I'm gonna move on. Again, I understand it. it just watching it made me feel some kind of way. Okay, but how do you know Ashley uses it, SCK? You ain't around that woman. You don't know what she does in her day-to-day life. You know the character that she shows you on a reality show. And I think we have to be cautious about how we judge people based on what we see on the show. You don't know how she lives her day-to-day life. You know what she shows you on the show. But that's your opinion, so. I don't like it either. I don't like it either, Phil. And I think maybe that's why it did something to me. All right. I think Giselle has pretty privilege more than white privilege. Okay. Okay. All right. Then they got into the whole Miami Nights thing, which again, we were able to break out. We were able to identify more damn lies. There was no kissing. Okay, SCK, we don't agree, and that's okay, baby. We don't agree, but that's okay. Mia again lies. Ashley said that Mia and Wendy kissed. There was no kissing. So Ashley, that was a lie. You straight up told when Giselle and Robin at the bridal shop that they kissed. No kissing. They all showed each other their cootie cats, and there was nothing more to it. They were drunk. They flashed. None of them probably had no drawers on underneath whatever dress they had on that night. They all flashed their cootie cats. They probably giggled and laughed and rolled around and then kept it moving. Child, more lies. Just more lies. Mia, you said that woman tried to get your kitty cat. And that didn't happen. Again, throwing stuff out there and just letting it just be a lie. Ray said he don't believe the rumors about Karen, but he's supposed to say that, child. Then we got to this anticlimactic interview with Robin and Andy. Hell, we done seen having this interview already. Like, I didn't see no big smoking gun with the interview other than the fact that Robin didn't understand that she kept making it seem like, well, it didn't come up on the show. It didn't come up on the show. It didn't come up on the show, but it absolutely did. Karen might have had her details wrong. Karen might have even been talking about a whole different woman and a whole different situation, but it absolutely came up on this season about Juan cheating on you. And you were appalled. You called Juan and was so upset and so appalled by it and so indignant and proceeded to try to, out Karen being in Vegas with some dude. Like, for you to sit there and act all innocent, like, well, it never came up, Andy. Well, I mean, it had happened months ago and we had dealt with it and it never came up. Well, I don't understand. It never came up. Girl, it absolutely came up. And I feel like Andy didn't hold her feet to the fire enough. Oh, Phil, we talked about that, but I agree. Karen did lie on Juan, but I said that earlier. But I agree, Karen. Karen did the same thing to Juan that Giselle did to Chris, but y'all might not agree with me on that. But in my opinion, Karen did the same thing to Juan that Giselle did to Chris. You said that the man hugged you and it made you uncomfortable because you said he hugged you too tight and it was intimate. Girl, what? But you said, but I went and talked to Ray about it, and Ray talked me out of making a big deal about it. Yeah, Ray probably talked you out of making a big deal about it because once you told Ray what happened, Ray was like, girl, go sit down somewhere. That man ain't do nothing to you. Like, Karen said tonight on Watch What Happens Live that this woman was domestic and the other girl was Canadian. Right. I do think that Karen was talking about a different situation. But the point is it came up and Robin is trying to act like, well, it didn't come up. Well, it didn't come up. Well, it didn't come up. And, he was like, well, why wouldn't you mention it? Especially if this is the reason why if this is the reason why your marriage has been postponed, and people ask you about why your marriage was postponed, and at no point in time did you have a conversation about it, again, she could have had that conversation with Giselle. If you didn't want to talk to the big group, you could have had a one-on-one with Giselle in one of those scenes where y'all were at the reasonably shady or whatever. They had a couple of one-on-one scenes this season. Girl, you could have slid it in. You and Giselle could have had a conversation about it and moved on. And then you would have had, your ass would have been covered. It didn't have to go nowhere else. It didn't have to go to the rest of the group. And then when it came out at the end of the season, it wouldn't have looked as bad. But the fact that you act like you don't understand what the issue is, you sit there playing in your damn drink and twirling around the damn ice. I was just like, so that's it? We waited 3 weeks for this? It was, I don't even have no notes. All I wrote was, Robin said if it was brought up on the show, and I wrote in my notes, it was brought up, Karen. That's what I got in my notes. Because they showed us the rest of the interview in clips, and nothing else, and the rest of it didn't matter. Like, you just were explaining away what you think happened. Thank you. You just came home over here. Oh, thank you, Andrea. Thank you, boo. The only thing that the Watch What Happens live segment showed is that Robin is the fool. Yeah, for me personally, thank you, Tracy. And thank you, everybody else who's been talking about the likes and been liking the channel and all that. Thank you so much, y'all. I've been just, because we doing double duty, so I just been rolling. Because we about to jump into SWV in a minute, and Escape in a minute. We almost done here. But I just personally, so I don't know. If it gave y'all more than it gave me, let me know. I think they deleted Candace and Ashley on again, off again segment for the added Robin stuff. Yeah, because I really needed them to address the Ashley Candace thing. Even with Ashley talking to Candace about Chris sliding in her DMs, they didn't address that at all. That only came up when other people brought it up. They didn't show it as a segment at all. And I honestly feel like Ashley owed Chris an apology as well, because that was some bullshit. And when she's in this, I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna transition to SWV and Escape. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. We do need a tribe emoji, y'all. I think I asked y'all that before, and I don't know what we came up with. Put some suggestions in the chat what the tribe emoji should be. So when we be going visiting other places, everybody else got cute emojis they be dropping and stuff. We got to come up with a tribe emoji so when we take field trips, y'all, we can be identified, okay? Our name tags. We got to have our name tags ready. Because a lot of y'all were over in Pam's chat tonight, y'all. We gotta be able to identify ourselves, child. This is what I mean by pissing my leg and tell me it's raining. Ashley sat there and they made a whole thing about this sliding in my DMs thing, right? This lasted over 2 episodes. You had a whole sit down with Ashley about Chris sliding in your DMs and you thinking it was inappropriate, just for us to realize that the man did not slide in your DMs. You posted on your story and he replied. And anybody who was on Instagram knows that if you post something on your story and somebody comments on that story, it goes into your DMs. The man did not slide into your DMs. The man he made a comment on your story. And then when he said you should have come to the W, you automatically assumed that it was something nefarious. And according to you, you didn't know that he worked there. Although we found out that the whole cast knew that the man worked down to the W. Now all of a sudden you didn't know. She owed him an apology as well. Right, but that's what I'm saying, SCK. When you leave a comment on somebody's story, he did not slide into her DMs, but if you leave a comment on somebody's story, it shows up in your DM. It doesn't show up. It shows up if you leave a comment on somebody's post on Instagram, it shows up right underneath the post. But if you leave a comment on a story, if I post a story and you leave a comment, it's in my DMs. So that's what I'm saying. No, he didn't slide into her DMs. He just left a comment. What's that, Tracy? I can't make out what that is. That's so small. Ashley knew what she was doing. Exactly. She knows. And that's why I'm saying she owed him an apology. Because, again, her and Giselle had created this bullshit. Mia got in it too. But Mia had already apologized to Chris. So I'm going to let her have that. But, again, just an example of another lie. Mia lied. Right. Ashley knows that. She knew she was lying when she said it. And that's why I said, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. She knew what she was doing when she did it. Okay, Bap, because we can ready transition. So if you haven't seen SWV and Escape, catch the replay because we about to slide into SWV and Escape now. Somebody said they're glad the season is over. You know what? I am too. The one thing I will say is I'm always glad to see it come, but I'm always glad to see it go. The one thing about these Real Housewives seasons, they're long, and usually they have so much going on that by the time the season is over, baby, you are glad that it is over. I was excited for Real Housewives of Potomac to begin, but baby, oh, I'm ready. I'm so glad it's over. Praise the Lord, and we are done. It is a wrap. We got to do it whether you like it or not panel tomorrow. That is our finale. We will be on break until the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and baby, we need it, okay? We need it. Mia only apologized because producers pulled receipts. Yeah. All right, let me take a pause for the calls while we transition. It's 121 people in the chat. I thank you guys for being here. If you could please hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, y'all. It is free 99. Haven't watched Escape yet? Okay, I understand if y'all haven't watched it. Y'all catch the replay, okay? I'm going to try to put a timestamp. Hold on, let me write down the timestamp. I've never done timestamps before, but I'm going to try to do the timestamp. Hold on, let me find a pen so I can write down the timestamp. Where's my pen? Oh, here it is. I'm going to try to do timestamps so y'all can just go straight to the timestamp. We almost at 1 minute. We almost at 1 hour even. So I'm going to try to put a timestamp in here, y'all. I got to go back and do it. I've never done it before, but it ain't hard. I'm sure it's not complicated. So I'm going to try to put a timestamp so that people will know. But if I don't do it right, just know. Just go to the 1 hour mark, and we transitioning, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get into SWV Escape. It ain't gonna take long because a lot of it was stuff we already know. If you grew up watching if you watched Escape's last reality show, if you watched SWV's reality show, if you watched any of their behind the music or unsungs, if you've been, any of that, a lot of this information is redundant. So I'm not going to spend so much time on it. But for those who need to know, first of all, this is your review for season 1, episode 1 of SWV and Escape, Queens of R&B. The episode starts off. Thank you, SCK. I love SCK because we can disagree and we love each other. It ain't no thing. That's my girl. It started off with giving us background on the two groups. So let me just give you a brief synopsis. SWV, three women out of Brooklyn. Out of New York. They came out 2 years before Escape. They're a little bit older than Escape. I think they said they have 5 albums. They have 5 albums, and they've had their strife. They've had their issues in the past. And they said basically it came down to Coco and her ego. They said her ego became the 4th member of the group, and they broke up. Coco did her solo thing, but ultimately they came back together for the money. Let's just go on and call a thing a thing. They came back together for the money. Okay? Because people wanted to hear Rain Down on Me and Right Here and all the other classic hits, and there was a place for them to make money, and that's what they did. Coco told us later on in this episode that at the end of the day, she don't really have to like either one of them, get along with either one of them, or be speaking to either one of them. They get on stage, they perform, and they go on and do their business. And they basically told Escape they need to get to a point where they can do that too. But we'll get to that. Escape. 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 They're out of Atlanta, Georgia. You know, they this sisters, Latasha and Tamika. We have Tiny, who's married to TIP. Tip. We have Candy Burrs from, you know, of course, before she was on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know, she was in Escape. They also, I believe, had 3 albums that all 3 of their albums have gone platinum. Or I think she said double platinum actually, but I know they've gone at least platinum. I think 3 out of the 5 SWV albums have gone platinum or something like that. They're very accomplished. Very, very, both of them. Both groups, very, very accomplished. This whole thing came out of the verses that they did a couple of months ago that was really popular. And that's where the idea came, to take advantage of the hype, take advantage of you know, everybody into the SWV escape moment. And they said, listen, let's make some money off of it. Let's make some money, child. They're trying to go back to original eye color. I ain't pay that much attention, Morgan. I didn't look that deep. I used to watch the show on WeTV, and Coco was a whole fool. Yeah, they said Coco was a mess, honey. Pam, ooh, we gonna get to that. Listen, we gonna get to that, mama. And I don't like talking about people mamas, but I got some words for theirs. We gonna get there though. So that's kind of where the show, we have the background, right? The 2 groups, and that's kind of how this even became a thing, right? The first conversation we see Tiny, Candy, and Tamika. They meeting up in Candy's studio. They kind of talking about, you know, Candy was like, look, I got all this music that I need to put out, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, Tiny said, me too. And then they start, you know, kind of talking about the music they have. And Tamika comes in the room. Now, Tamika is one half of the sisters, Latasha and Tamika. Yeah, Latasha is the diva of their group, child. And what we find out is, child, they had a show down to the Las Vegas. And after the show, Candy and Tamika was sharing a dressing room. Tiny and Latasha shared a dressing room. Candy and Tamika were locked out of their dressing room for whatever reason. Don't know why, it didn't matter. But they had to wait for somebody to come and get them in. It looked like they finally had to get a locksmith to cut the lock off, is what it looked like ended up happening when they showed us the clip from what happened. Well, while Candy and Tamika were waiting to get into their dressing room, Latasha left with the road manager and their tour manager. Because Rocky, Latasha's husband, is one of them. I don't know if he's their tour manager or their road manager, but he's one of those people. So they're within their text group, Tamika and Latasha get to arguing back and forth. And Tamika said, well, whoever left can kiss my entire ass. And Latasha must have said something, and then Tamika said, well, if you had an ass, or if you could find your ass, or something to that effect. Latasha then plays victim and says, well, you are body shaming me. Yeah, there's a lot of things that her sister could have said to her that would have been body shaming. Telling that girl she got a flat ass, I don't think falls in that category. It is clear that she still holds on to a lot of her own feelings as it relates to her weight. But I don't think that y'all in the middle of an argument and she's saying, kiss my ass if you had one, or something to that effect. Phil, I wish I was reviewing Mary Child, because that actually, was I reviewing Mary? I gotta go back and look at my playlist. I think I did review like the last season. I gotta go back and look at my playlist still. I might have reviewed the last season. I know I wasn't reviewing the season. Well, I don't think I was reviewing the season when it came out that her husband was cheating. I was watching it, but I don't know if I was doing YouTube then. I would have to go back and look at my playlist and see if I got any Mary on my playlist, child. So that's what the whole argument is right now between the two sisters, right? That's where the whole argument, well, no, that is what they're saying on the show. The argument gets deeper, which we're going to find out later. It goes deeper than that, but that's why they're not speaking to each other right now, okay? So, okay, I said all of this. I said all of that. Okay. So then we have a scene. We see Natasha with her family. We see her husband, who has been the center of a lot of the controversy. She talks about how they met. You know, he was in the industry. She said Candy actually introduced them, and he was working for R. Kelly. And she had a boyfriend at the time, and he basically told her boyfriend, her boyfriend was at rehearsal, and he told the boyfriend to leave because that was gonna be his woman. I said, see. Well, sometimes when people tell these stories, I'm gonna need y'all to think this stuff through, and I need y'all to think. And it's sometimes the shit ain't cute. You had a whole boyfriend, and your boyfriend showed up at rehearsal, and this new guy over here that I guess y'all was flirting and y'all was liking each other, but you clearly had not broken up with your boyfriend yet. This man walks up to that man and tells him he need to leave because you his woman now. That shit ain't cute. I didn't think that was a cute story. Maybe I'm too much of a prude. Maybe I'm a stick in the mud, but I didn't find that cute. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Am I just a prude? I didn't think that was cute. And I think that you were lucky that they ain't get the fighting in the middle of the damn rehearsal. Anyway, child. She has a son who is 24 now. He played college basketball, and it sounds like they still have hopes that maybe he'll play overseas or play league or something like that. He played at the University of Buffalo, so congratulations to him for being a college graduate. Rocky manipulated Natasha before they even got together. That's what it sounds like. Crazy as bat-ish. Oh, not shades of ease. Yeah, I just didn't find it cute. And again, some women think that shit is cute. I didn't think that was a cute story. Like, I wouldn't have told the story like that. I would have been like, you could tell that the producers already knew the story because the producers asked her, but didn't you already have a boyfriend when you met Rocky? You could tell that the producers already knew how it went down because they asked the question. But I wouldn't have answered it. I'd have been like, yeah. But question is, Tamika's husband secure? Yeah, but that's been out there, Morgan. That's been out there that her husband was a security guard. That's been out there. So, quiet as it's kept, loud as it is. Rocky is a glorified. Oh, let me. Child Rocky is too. Rocky played on Natasha's low self-esteem. The sisters need therapy. Child, all these people need some therapy, child. All right. So then we see Tiny with her family again. We all know Tiny. We know she got all the churn. We know she said that Tip don't like her working, child. We know that if you watched any of their reality shows, you know how Tip feel about her working. So we don't need to go deep into that. If you don't know the T.I. Tiny story, I don't know what to tell you. I'll go watch some Family Values. Go watch some. They've been out there, but then we meet Tamika and Donnell, which is her husband. Yes, he is security. They tried to give him a fancy name. I meant to write it in my notes, but I just wrote security. Would they say he's a special? What do you say? Special protection or some shit like that? Like he in the CIA. Child, he is a security guard, but he does work for they say he worked for New Edition and somebody else, so he travels. Now, again, that's how they met. You know, they met, I guess, while he was doing security. She said she was working at Tyler Perry, and she said that they were just really good friends until one day she realized that she loved him, and so she went over his house, and then she came out his bathroom in a thong and a bra. again, y'all, these like, you know, there's a way you could have said that without being so raunchy. You could have been like, one day I realized that I had feelings for him, and I told him, listen, let's do this. Let's make this happen. What I say his name was? I wrote Darnell in my notes. Did I say it wrong? I wrote Darnell in my notes. What I say? My bad. Hey, Xavier. Executive protection. Yeah. Listen, y'all know they know how to fancy up a name, child. But I just really feel like, and again, maybe I'm a prude, y'all, but I just didn't feel like we needed to know that she went over that man's house and came out of his bathroom in her thong and bra. First of all, I don't need to visualize that. Second of all, I didn't even need to know what happened. You could have just said, hey, I realized that I had feelings for the man, and I told him, listen, let's do this. Let's make it happen. You ain't have to be so specific. But okay, child. Okay, child. Maybe I'm just a prude, y'all. But anyway, so that was a way that they would just, I feel like next week we're going to probably get to know SWV's story, because we know that Coco's son tells his story, and I don't know if that's his pronoun, so I'm not being disrespectful. I just do not know. I know that he is LGBTQ, but I don't know if his pronoun is he. I don't. But for right now, until I get more information, it's him. But I know that he is LGBTQ. So we're going to get his story. We know Taj is still married to Eddie George. We saw clips with the two of them. So I feel like we're going to get both families. But this week we got the Escape family, okay? So then the ladies meet up for dinner. Taj hosts the dinner where the two groups can come together and sort of just discuss whether... well, I want to be respectful. I just don't know if his pronoun is different. But they're going to come together to see what they want to do about this, right? Now, both Latasha and Tamika were talking to their significant others about the tension, how they're not speaking to each other, and they hope. Now, I thought Latasha said, I hope it doesn't get in the way of business, but I know Tamika said it. I know Tamika said, I hope it doesn't get in the way of business. She was looking thirsty, not cute. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to see SWV. In the trailer, we definitely saw them. Okay, you think it's a him. He has a YouTube channel and goes to school in Vegas. Okay. I follow him on TikTok. And him and his mom do some really cute TikToks together. They do really cute stuff together. He goes to school in Vegas. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Cool. So, and the reason why I wanted to remember, and I meant to rewind it, and I just forgot to rewind it, child. But the reason why I wanted to remember if she said it is because she's the main one that had an attitude walking into this damn meeting. Okay. So everybody shows up for the meeting. Latasha comes in. Latasha's already there when Tamika gets there. And Taj is like, okay, girl, you can go over there, sit next to your sister. Because at that point, I don't think it was too many other seats left. And she goes over there. And Tamika was like, you look cute. Tasha was like, thank you. I said, okay, so this is already not starting off as you wanting to be in a good space with your sister. Okay. So, do you really think she will fat shame her sister and steal money from her? Do I really think she will fat shame her sister and steal money from her? That's two. You got the sisters. You got Sarah. You talking about two different things. Latasha accused Tamika of fat shaming her, and Tamika accused Latasha of stealing her money. So I don't really understand your statement because you blended the two things with. I don't understand what you're saying. Rewrite it for me, please, because I don't understand what you're saying. So they get to talking about the show. Everybody seems to be on board with the show. Everybody's throwing out ideas. I like Tamika's idea to mix up the groups and have them singing songs together like Candy with Coco or whatever. Like, I thought that was a good idea. I really thought that was a cute idea. I said, thank you, like who? Oh. So Taj was like, girl, you okay? She's like looking at her, and I mean, she's like, girl, you okay? And she was like, I'm fine. I just have reservations. And she was like, what you mean? She said, I'm just not excited. I'm not really feeling this. Then she gonna say, well, we have issues within our own group, and so I'm just not really excited about us doing anything outside of the group because we kind of got issues within internally right now. Cause why everybody was looking at her like, what the, like, why are you bringing our, like, you didn't need to speak on our business. You didn't need to speak on what we got going on internally. Like, girl, take the meeting and we can resolve what we need to resolve on the back end. It was so unnecessary for you to even go there. You had a stank ass attitude, and it was unnecessary for you to show up with the attitude. I'd rather you not come than to come and be negative. So that's when Coco was like, basically, Coco told them, put your big panties on and let's go make this money. Coco was like, girl, y'all don't have to like each other. Y'all don't have to talk when y'all not on stage. Y'all don't have to kiki. Y'all don't have to go shopping together. You ain't even got to eat together, okay? You can get on that stage, you can sing your songs, and you can go to hell home. That is what you all can do. And she said, listen, the three of us, we ain't always speaking when we performing, but we get on that stage and we do what we got to do and we go to hell home. And I was thinking, that is exactly what, y'all too old for this shit. Like, all of y'all are not, y'all are all in y'all 40s knocking on 50 if y'all not already 50. What are you doing? You showed up and you had a real nasty, stank ass attitude. Right. It is a job. Y'all are past the point of trying to be friends with each other, baby. It's a job. It is a job. So I think Rocky is feeding Latasha that poison, and that's why she acting like that. My sister husband is doing that to her, and she's walking around with that same stank attitude. It's a shame because, again, you too old to be manipulated at this point. You too old to even be manipulated at this point. So basically, the rest of it was like, girl, we'll resolve what we need to resolve. We're going to go make this money. And she was like, well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We need to get it resolved. And Tamika was like, Tiny was like, well, we ain't going out on the road tomorrow. Like, we have time. Like, this isn't something that's going to happen next week. We got to put together a show. We got to book shows. We got to sell tickets. Like, girl, and again, Latasha, you're not new to this. You've been doing this shit since high school. You know how the system works. You know how this industry works. We are sitting down. Let's say it's January and we say, listen, we're going on tour. You ain't going nowhere till June. Because you got to put everything in place. You got to book the arenas. You have to sell the damn tickets. You got to rehearse and put a show together. You ain't going nowhere no time soon. Listen, we got time to go through therapy, Ayanla, TD Jakes, whoever the hell else they going to bring in here. We got time. But for you to be sitting here with this stank ass attitude right here in front of company, because that's what you did. You let SWV know that right now we ain't good. And they don't need to know that. They don't need to know what we you remember what your mama used to tell you, that's family, that's house business. You don't take house business outside of the house. I never, listen, not even when you go on grandma's house. Grandma don't need to know what we got going on in here if things ain't right. Grandma don't need to know if me and daddy ain't getting along. Grandma don't need to know if the phone got cut off. Grandma don't need to know none of that. That's house business. So you didn't need to walk in there with no attitude because you wanted them to know that you was mad about something. Because you ain't have to walk in there like that. You didn't have to walk in there like that. That's like instead of saying you're a cashier, you input. Y'all still talking about that man being a security guard. Leave that man alone. Oh, Lord. Okay. Look, I even wrote in my notes, Coco don't talk to them girls. Because Coco said, look, I don't really rock with them like that. But we get on that stage and we make this money. Because at this point, that's all it is. At this point, all we're doing is making money together. We don't have to be friends. We are married. We have children. We have other responsibilities. We have other things going on. And we are too old to be fighting over old shit. Listen, I can't keep fighting over old shit. Really be turned into mama for a second. Yeah, you listen, you ain't got to let everybody in on what's going on in this house. So then we see a little scene with Candy and Todd. Basically, Candy is just telling Todd that they basically right back to where they started. It's the same bullshit. They arguing and ain't getting along. Wait, they right back where they started, child. Todd said, listen, y'all know how y'all girls are. Y'all the girl groups from the 90s. Y'all gonna fight. But, you know, Todd and Candy always give us a little yang-yang. You know, they were making pizza with the kids, yada, yada, yada. Here's where the real shit went down. So, Latasha and Tamika mama then called them over to the house. Now, Tamika on the way over there let us know that their mama, Latasha, has always been her favorite. That if it's ever come down to anything between her and Latasha, the mama always take Latasha's side. And that she always feels like it's a 2-against-1 situation. They showed a clip of Tamika even trying to explain to her mother why she was mad and the mama cutting her off and basically not letting her explain herself, right? So do I think T.I. will... Yeah, T.I. Yeah. T.I. love the cameras. Child, please. T.I. be there somewhere. At some point in time, we're going to see T.I. child. I believe we will now. That's my opinion. To play devil's advocate, should Tasha give up on her dream to continue to be in a group? My thing is this, my attitude is this: there's a way to do everything. You can do everything in decency and in order. My problem is, from my understanding, it wasn't done in decency and in order. No, she doesn't have to give up on her dream, but it's the way you handle it. That's all. So... Exactly, Jonathan. I'm about to get to that. So, Latasha gets there first, and then Tamika shows up. The first thing that I noticed was some bullshit was Latasha wanting a hug from Tamika. And Tamika was like, oh, so we hugging now? And she was like, what you mean? We always hug. And y'all know the producers showed us the clip of when they saw each other down to the dinner, and she didn't hug. Not only did she not hug Tamika, she didn't even speak to Tamika. Tamika said, you look cute. And she was like, thank you. And didn't say you do too. Didn't say, hey girl, give me a hug. None of that. So now all of a sudden you at mama's house, and now all of a sudden you want a hug. Now all of a sudden you want to be a sister, and you want to be sisterly. Girl, bye. So then they get to talking about what happened. And what I hate is that they totally glossed over the fact that her sister left her there. Listen, forget about a group. Forget about the fact that y'all are a group. Why would you leave your sister like that? Your sister is locked out of her dressing room. You got in your dressing room. Not only did you went and changed your clothes, but like Tamika said, you left and didn't come back, didn't call to check or none of that. So, yeah, I was feeling some kind of way. I was in my feelings. Now, Tamika was acting it out and it was funny. She was like, and Beyonce comes along, and Tasha was like, Beyonce, why the mama gonna mouth to Latasha while Tamika is, acting out the scene? She's just jealous of you. I said, oh, this is a wrap. Why on God's green earth would you tell one daughter that the other daughter is just, she's just jealous of you? Really? Wow. So then I already knew. I said, whatever. I said, well, shoot, whatever Tamika said, I'm believing Tamika at this point. When Tamika said that my mother always treated her better than me and this, and this, now I'm saying it. And The mama went straight to the text message to my son. Well, why would you blast your sister to everybody? It was the group text message. She didn't put it on social media. She didn't post it to her Instagram. She literally, they were talking within their group, the escape group chat, and they were arguing in the group chat. Nobody saw them text messages until now. So for you to be like, why would you blast your sister like that? What did she say? She said she got a flat butt. She gonna say you body shame your sister. See, now y'all doing too much. So you never address the fact that this girl left her sister. Because again, my mama would have been like, you don't ever leave your sister. I don't care how old y'all are. I don't care what it is. You don't leave your sister. If she couldn't go because she couldn't get in her dressing room and she didn't have no clothes, you wait. You let her sit in your dressing room until security get there. If you hungry, if you tired, if you sleepy, you wait. And when they get there and they change the locks and you know she good to go, then you can carry your happy ass home. But you don't leave your sister. That's what my mama would have been like. My mom would have been like, you don't leave your sister. So for you to be focused on this group chat where the girl said, you got a flat ass, and all of a sudden now that's body shaming, and that's where you focusing, but you're not focusing on what started the argument. You focusing on what she said in the argument, but you're not focusing on what started the argument. Houston, we got a problem. That mama got some issue with her. Then that's when Natasha gave us this whole story about her being fat shamed. And she said, one night I sung my butt off and we got off stage and the promoter was like, the big girl, she sang her ass off tonight. As a big girl, I get it. But also as a big girl, it's 4 y'all in the group. You had Tiny. Did you ever have a problem if people described her as the light-skinned girl? You had Candy. Did you ever have a problem if anybody described her as the dark-skinned girl? You, the big girl, your sister, I don't know the big booty girl, I don't know what they say about your sister. But I'm just saying, everybody has that bear to cross. That man probably didn't know y'all damn name. And so he said the big girl. Now, that doesn't lessen your pain. And I'm sure that you, again, as a big girl, I know. And you deal with it and you process it. But I'm going to say that I think you have done a great job of not just losing the weight, but keeping the weight. Now, Tiny said you ain't had no surgery. So I don't know if you didn't. I guess you didn't have weight loss surgery, that you did it naturally, which is all the more impressive. And you're doing a good job of keeping it off. And that is commendable as somebody that's trying to get it off. Okay. I know it's hard. Okay. But girl, for you to automatically jump to your sister shading you and fat shaming you, So then they again got to arguing again, and Tamika brings up the fact that her and Rocky stole money from her. Because she was like, listen, if you want to go there, we can go there. What about you stealing my money? And Tasha was like, what are you talking about? What money? Baby, Candy said, not Candy. Tamika said in her confessional that a couple of years ago, Tiny told her that there was some royalties that they were getting. And Tamika wasn't getting these royalties. And when she did the research, she found out that the royalties were going to Latasha and Rocky for whatever reason, don't know why, and that they were actually depositing those checks into their account and never gave the money to Tamika. And she said it ended up being about $30,000. Now, in the grand scheme of things, $30,000 ain't a major windfall, but if it's money you ain't know you were getting and it's money that belongs to you, then it's your damn money. Now, how the paperwork was written that the check went to Latasha and Rocky and didn't go to her, don't know. But it sounds to me, now I got my girl Pam in the chat. It sounds to me like Tamika did her research and she had the paperwork, and she said, I had my girl, sound like her friend might be an attorney, because she said, I had my girl pull the paperwork and I have the receipts. She said, now you want to sit here and keep saying that you didn't steal my money? She said, my homegirl wanted to press charges, but I didn't do it. She said, but if you want to keep sitting here and act like you didn't take my money, oh, I can press the gas because it ain't too late for you to go to jail. Baby. Why her mama turn to them cameras and say, cut? Now you can get out my house with them cameras. You turn them cameras off or you get out. I said, oh, mama, we don't want that on tape, huh? Oh, it was okay for you to tell your daughter that the other daughter was jealous. It was okay for you to think you was about to reprimand your daughter for telling her that she had a flat booty. Oh, but now we getting to the nitty gritty. Now we getting down to the real. And let me tell you something. I believe everything Tamika said because the story was too damn specific. I believe everything Tamika said because you know, who makes up a story that damn specific? I absolutely believe Tamika. I absolutely believe Tamika. Thank you, Britt. It's Juvia's place. It's Juvia's place. It's from their berry collection. It's the lip gloss. It's maroon. It's called Maroon. My thing is this. Because here's what happened. It probably was real innocent the way it happened. Her and Tiny were probably just talking. Her and Tiny were probably just bullshitting. And Tiny probably mentioned it. Like, girl, wasn't that something we got that check? Wasn't that something, whatever happened, and we getting these royalties? And Tamika was probably like, girl, what you talking about? And Tiny was like, yeah, we got this check from such and such a place for so-and-so and so-and-so. And Tamika was probably like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. So I feel like it happened just like she said it happened. I don't feel like Tamika called her and was like, girl, you better check your account because I think your sister's stealing from you. I think it was just an innocent conversation. And she was like, wait a minute, what money? And when she went and did the research, she found out where her money was. And her money was in her sister's damn account. I believe that's exactly what happened. But I also believe that because she is her sister, she didn't want to press charges against her. And so she didn't. I also believe that. I also believe that she just let it go. But baby, I believe everything that girl said. They stole her money. And yes, you're right. Somebody owe me $20, I want my money. But $30,000 ain't nothing to sneeze at either. I wasn't saying it like it wasn't a lot of money. I was just saying like it wasn't like, oh, you know. But yeah, $30,000 is $30,000. And for the mama, and she was like, we didn't steal your money, girl. We didn't steal your money. And the way and the other reason why I believe her is because the way she was talking, she was like, yeah, my homegirl got all the receipts and she wanted me to press charges and I wouldn't do it. That sounds like a friend of yours that's probably an attorney or you know, somehow or another was in, you know, did the research and help you track that money down. But that's what she said. She said, I had to go look for it. And when we found it, it was in your damn account. Oh, it absolutely would have been some furniture moving. And I would have, and listen, let me tell you something. I got my damn money. Now, I can't speak for her and why she let it slide. But baby, I'd have got my money. Maybe they needed it more than she did, child. You know, that executive protection job is paying good money. Maybe Latasha and Rocky needed it more than she needed it at the time. I don't know. Yeah, she said the homegirl wanted to lump her up. Yeah. Whose mother condones the older child stealing from the younger child? I hope she can sue for all of her solo gospel work. She said the statute of limitations ain't up. She said it ain't too late for her to get her money. It was a mess, but that's where the episode ended, child. Mama made them cut the cameras, honey. Mama made them cut them cameras. And it looks like the argument spilled outside because we saw a clip last week where they got on the same clothes and she's still yelling, and Tamika's still yelling about her money. Because see, now she mad. She walked in there. I think she walked in there with good intentions. She walked in there wanting to talk, wanting to clear the air. But now you done made her mad. You think the mama got a cut of the money? She probably did, because the mama got a nice house. You see that mama house? That mama house is nice. She got a little piece of that pie. Sure did. They would have had a week to give me my money back. Did I watch the first Escape? Yeah, I watched the first one. Ooh, Faith! Not the mama dirty. Not the shit slewfoot hoe. I can't wait to see what Terrence called that mama. You know Terrence gonna come up with a very creative name for the mama child. Now Tamika came in hot and was going to prove her point. You said you don't think so? I think she came in. I think she came in ready to defend herself. But I don't think she came in there ready to drop that T, though. I don't think she came in there to drop that T. I think she was going to let that be. Because she let it go. Until they started acting like, you know, she did something so terrible to her sister. And while this was going on, SWV was in South Africa performing at a private birthday party for some rich dude child. When they started gaslighting Tamika, that's when it all came. Exactly. They did. That's exactly what they did, nigga. They tried to gaslight that woman. They sure did. Anyway, y'all, I've been here for 2 hours. Well, I mean, an hour and a half, honey, and I love y'all. But it is after midnight. Even though I don't have to go to work tomorrow, child, I ain't trying to sleep till noon. So I'm gonna thank y'all for being here. If you have not hit the like button, if you can hit the like button, it's 161 people in the chat. If you could please hit the like button on your way out. And if you are not subscribed to the channel and you just hanging out in the clouds, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, honey. We be having a good time. Are we okay? It is free 99. It's a free way to support the channel, okay? I would fight another mother for creating division and jealousy amongst her children. It's wicked. I agree. When she said she's just jealous of you, I was done. I was done. When she said that, I said, oh, Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. When we have our next tribe meeting, y'all, we will decide on an emoji, okay? When we have our next tribe meeting, we will decide on what our emoji is. So the next time Pam invites us to her house, we can drop our emojis like Thais was dropping. And when conscious people came over here, they was dropping the what were they dropping? The books. What were they dropping over here? The books. So we're gonna get our little emojis, honey. So when we go on our field trips, when people invite us places, we know how to show up. Okay. Oh, you think Tiny was saying she didn't have surgery on her butt like everybody else? Okay, I got you. Okay. Right. So this whole story about how she disrespected their mother. I mean, unless it happens later on in the season, it wasn't in that scene. Not to me, it wasn't. Well, thank you, Faith, for coming over. I appreciate you. I'm going to do the live reviews of SWV. They're going to take the place of where I was doing the Real Housewives of Potomac live. So tonight I had to pull double duty, but next week it'll be regular. We'll probably go live about 30 minutes after the show is over. No, tomorrow's not a holiday. It's just we have a teacher work day, but it's asynchronous, meaning I'm doing it from home and I ain't got to go nowhere. So I'm technically at work tomorrow. I just don't have to leave my house and go nowhere. Hey, friend. What's up, Mims? Hey, boo. Mims, I was in your chat for a little while earlier. You had almost 1,000 people over there when I was in there, honey. You better do that, boo. Do that. All right, y'all. Let me go. I love y'all. I will talk to y'all later. Have a good evening. Peace.